everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of Shit Moms Won't Say. My name is Jess Ader-Ferretti. I will be your faithful host every Monday and Thursday night when I lead you down the dark and twisty journey of motherhood. I'll be doing that by interviewing women who are A, not bitches, B, have cool stories to tell, and C, can laugh at themselves 100% of the time. I have someone on tonight who I'm like blown away that she agreed to do this. She's, I'm sure, going to speak for herself, telling you what a neurotic human being she is, and that she's like not going to be funny. She's totally going to be funny. She is mom to a very nice and well-trained 24-year-old son. She is also the crown jewel of the Long Island theater scene. Yes, you are. Don't shake your head. You 100% are. She's one of the raunchiest bitches that I know. She really, really is. She's a speech pathologist, okay, who knew? Who can speak? Who was a single parent until she met the love of my life, Tim, who all the while, and this is something that I'm so interested in talking about, never stopped performing. She's a theater performer. She never stopped performing and pursuing her passions. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, Emily Nadler. Yeah, thank you for drum rolling with me. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hello, my love. How are you?
Oh, love, I'm well. How are you?
I love your side braid.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're so regal.
I'm warm today. I needed to get it off my neck.
It's that, yeah, I have it too. It's that like mop. I get it. I finally got a haircut, so I feel a little better. I did my backyard masked outside. It was very hot. You know.
Fancy.
Why not? It was, Allison Rogers, Allison Endlick now cut my hair. She's terrific.
Okay.
Need a haircut. So we're gonna jump right in. And for the viewers out there, every episode we're gonna start off with something called the Big Mom 3. It's the same 3 questions, and the moms have not been prepped. So Miss Nadler, if you're nasty, the first question of the Big Mom 3.
I am.
Did you always know you wanted to be a parent?
Yes, I would say it's all for this. What's that?
I'm unsure about that.
Yeah, no, I am sure. But when you're young and you picture yourself being a mom, like, oh yeah, I'll have kids. You don't know what it means. You have no idea what it means. Like when I was a little girl, I guess I thought it, you picture, oh, I'll buy this pretty dress for my daughter and I'll just be a mom. You have no freaking idea what it entails. But of course, I always wanted to. I come from a beautiful, beautiful, large family. I have 2 older brothers, 1 younger sister. So it was just always in the cards. But I wasn't one that really planned things out. Like, okay, when I'm 25, I'm going to be married. And when I'm 30, I'm going to have my first kid. And because I've met women like that, I just sort of rolled with it in my 20s, theater and school and singing and whatever. But it was always, always in the back of my head that of course.
I think if you try to plan it, it's the ultimate kick in the balls, right? Like you cannot plan life. It's just impossible. And yeah, women like that won't be on the show. I'm so sorry. Right. And you've come to understand like that's really dumb. Otherwise you can't hang with us.
Yep. It reminds me, I had this girlfriend who shall remain nameless, and I had my son before she started having kids. And I remember when she was pregnant, she was telling me, well, I'm going to be this kind of mom, and I'm going to do that, and my son's going to be this way, or my daughter's going to be this way, and this is how we're going to do things. And I said, you have to wait and see what kind of kid you get.
Yeah.
To see what you get, you can't plan it.
And I feel like that's something like you really, and I hate when people are like, you'll get it when you're a parent, but I've heard myself say it, or at least have said it in my head now that I am a parent, like kids are not necessarily blank slates, right? Like I feel like when Lily was born, she was already, and by the way, because you guys don't know me, I have a 9-month-old named Lily and a wife named Katie.
She's beautiful.
Well, thanks.
Both are beautiful and lovely.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you. But when Lily was born, I felt like she was already a wild woman. Like she came out in my mind like cracking jokes as much as a 6-pound newborn could.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
Like you get who you get, and you can't get upset.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You mold them. They're the play you get, and you mold them, but they come out a certain way, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. At least my little opinion there.
I think it's a good opinion. All right, Big Mom question number 2, and I love this question. What is the most backhanded and or shittiest piece of advice you've ever gotten from another mother or another person about like parenting in general?
Okay, I have one.
Okay.
So I was a single parent from the time my son was 2. He just turned 2, and himself and his dad, we split. So I guess Jake was like, I'm going to say 2.5, 3 years old. And, I didn't go out much. I wanted to be home with him, but I still wanted to socialize. So I had a girlfriend come over. I said, let's just watch a movie and let's eat ice cream. And I remember the Brady movie, Brady Bunch movie, funny movie.
It's a good movie.
So I had this whole routine set up for Jacob because he was really difficult going to sleep, really difficult staying asleep. So I said, screw the routine. It was normally, bath and books and singing, and I would have to wait with him because he was
standing on your head, rubbing your belly, patting your head at the same time, of course, yeah.
I said, you know what, let's just watch TV, the movie in my bedroom, and Jacob will just go to sleep. Well, she thought, and she had no kids. She lectured me on that for quite a while, and I stayed silent, and my ice cream is melting, and don't fuck with my ice cream.
That's the quote, by the way. Like, when I'm putting this out there, that's the only quote I'm going to put is, don't fuck with my ice cream.
Don't fuck with my ice cream.
Don't fuck with my ice cream.
So then I stupidly said, no, it really is okay because he's such a terrible sleeper. He wakes up every hour and a half, and sometimes I'm so tired because I'm a working single parent. Instead of trying to do the whole routine and get him back to sleep, I'll just take him into bed with me, and we both get a good night's sleep. I got about a half-hour lecture about what a terrible thing that is to do. Now, she has no kids. She had no kids. Still has no kids. And that I was going to have a 12-year-old who was going to still be in the bed with me. And she would not shut up about it. She was a guest in my home. I was trying to be sort of polite, like, yeah, well, this works for us, and let's, watch the movie. She wouldn't get off of it. And I still remember the frustration to this day. Like, I did not ask you. So I guess the moral of that is,
ask you. We didn't ask you.
We didn't ask you. So every mom, dad, parent has to make decisions for what they feel is right for their household, for their child, for themselves.
Right.
And it can be different from household to household, but there should be zero judgment from bitches who make my ice cream.
Maybe that's the quote. Zero judgment from bitches who make my ice cream melt. We'll see. We'll see how wordy I feel that day. I'm not really sure yet.
There was another one. It wasn't really advice, but I remember being in the post office. I had to mail something that was like really important, and I needed that whole return receipt requested deal. I think Jacob was really young, like 4 weeks old, and the line was really long, and I was holding him, and I couldn't get him to stop crying. And I thought, let me just wait it out. I know it's a crying baby. It might be annoying, but this thing is so important. And this woman screamed, "Feed that baby!" And it was so mean.
You should have just whipped out a tit and been like, all right, judge that. Boom. And then seen what they had done.
I didn't have as much moxie back then. I should have. But it was like, have a heart. This ain't easy. I can't figure it out. Of course I've tried to give him a bottle. Of course I've tried this. So just, that moral is just be nice. Be nice to new moms. Be nice to any mom.
All moms. Be nice. Be nice to everybody. Be a nice person.
Nice, exactly.
How easy is that? And then third question of Big Mom 3, what is either a skill or like a superpower that you had before superpower that you had before becoming a mom that you feel has really helped you as a mom?
I'm going to say the fact that I'm pretty easygoing. I come from a.
I thought you were going to say easy, and I was going to say she is. She is. Don't deny it. But okay.
Yes, I'm really easygoing, that I didn't care if the toys, toys all over the floor means to me the kid is having fun. I call him kid. That the kid has had a fun day, and that I wasn't cleaning up right after him. I let him make make a pool of mud in the backyard, and it's fun. It was fun. He was only a little boy once, but I think I know a lot of moms who are really, really fastidious, and they drive their kids crazy with clean up the room and sit up straight and this and that. And I sort of chose my not battles, but I just chose my issues a little bit more, because believe me, I drove him crazy, and I still drive him crazy, but I wanted to keep that at a little bit of a lower level, because we can drive our kids really crazy, and chill out. They're only little ones. If his room is messy, that's okay. At least for me, that's what worked for my house. A messy room, fine. Not doing your homework, not fine.
But it's a good piece of advice, because I think people, moms in particular, younger new moms, spend a lot of time trying to focus on like, how do I become the perfect parent? And like for me, I've literally never thought that. Like I knew I was going into this like a barbarian. Like I was like
barbarian.
I was like, this poor kid. Like, but me, like I'm a pretty good mom. Like we have a lot of fun together, and I think that that's what's important. Like we can play all day and it's fun. And I think moms need to hear that that's okay more. So I love that.
Yeah, that is definitely okay. There is no perfect mom. There is no perfect kid, although my kid is perfect for me. Your beautiful Lily is perfect for you.
He is, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. You're matched, it's a natural match, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And we'll still fuck them up anyway, right? That's what we're here to do. We're here to fuck them up. She'll be into me for a while, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
That's okay. So I'm gonna shift gears. You have a best friend, in a similar way that I have a best friend, and I'm mentioning him on my show because I have to get it out there once, and I will never mention him again. I have a best friend named Mark, who is the godfather of my Lily.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
His name is Mark Thomas Luke Cahill, and he is my second child. Well, I guess my first child because he's older. But you have a best friend who is a similar type of friendship, a very lovely man named Scott, who I reached out to when you told me you would do this.
You did?
I did. Surprise!
Oh my goodness.
So I reached out to Scott, and I was like, you've been performing with Emily for years. She's your best friend. Like, give me some dirt. Give me some dirt on this woman. And do you know what that lovely man said?
What?
Well, a few things. So first he had said, like, I really don't have anything on, like, she's such a good mom. Like, she always managed it all. Like, let me think on it. He got back to me today and said, I don't really have anything, but what I can tell you is because Jacob has always been really super interested in bowling, you took him, all over the world, well, all over the state or wherever you were, different bowling alleys. So what he said about you is, if nothing else, that woman really knows her way around a gutter.
That's what he got. The gutter?
That's what he said. You really know your way around the gutter.
That's all you got for me, Hofer?
That's all he got for you.
I'll tell you Scott Hofer's story with Jacob. When Jacob was born, Scott and his partner Joe came over, and always they are the most generous people on the face of the planet. They got him birthday gifts and Hanukkah, Christmas, Halloween. I think we even got something for Thanksgiving one year, Easter. Really super, yes, super duper generous people. So they came over, I guess, with a baby gift, and they'd been here a while, and I didn't think anything of it, and I started nursing Jacob. Well, we gotta go, They were not having it. They were not.
Gay men are either like, oh, let me check that out, or they're out the fucking door. Like, there's no.
Both of them made a beeline for the door, which is surprising because I can be a little raunchy.
More than a little.
I question his gayness because he loves boobs that much. This is true. This is true. He will tell you the same thing. So.
Oh my God.
They both made a beeline. They couldn't get out of here fast enough. Exactly what the nursing thing.
That took a turn, and I'm glad it did. And I was going to go down the path of, like, you know, Jacob being a bowler, all that. But what I would love to know, and I mentioned it when I first introduced you, is Jacob had his own hobbies and his passions, whatever they may be. Could be bowling, could be anything. And you are a staple, whether you want to admit it or not, in the Long Island theater scene, and you have been for many years. You've never stopped performing. You've never stopped, taking on your passions. And I think that's another just like amazing thing about you, and really important for people to hear, you know, whether how you juggled it or you didn't juggle it. And, you know, I'd love to hear that. I also know that your very sweet son, because you asked him for some help, sent you some like weird or funny stories. So I'd love to do an Emily Nadler reading, and please feel free to take out your phone to express how you managed your time.
I will. Well, I'll get to the funny stories in a second from Jacob, but how did I juggle it? So he was my little buddy, and he came everywhere with me. He came to rehearsals. He came to a lot of shows when he was older. When he was really little, he couldn't come to the shows because I had to make sure I kept my eye on him because he was a very, very, very busy boy. But he came to a ton of rehearsals with me. So how did I juggle it? Well, I did if I ever had to, you know, go to a show or maybe a rehearsal that he wasn't at, when he got old enough to tell time, I pushed the clock ahead and told him it was bedtime. It's a true story. I pushed the clock ahead, and then I got to do the whole bedtime routine, the bath, the books, the singing, the this and that. And by then he was falling asleep more easily. Get him to sleep. I'd call the babysitter who lived right across the street, and I'd say, he's asleep, come over. And then I would be out the door because I didn't want him thinking I was gone a lot.
So that's ridiculous and hilarious. Did you end up getting like fucked over in the morning then? Because he was asleep a half hour before his normal time.
I was fucked over in the morning all the time anyway. He was like up at 5:30. And by 8 o'clock, we'd already rolled the ball across the kitchen floor back and forth. We had, you know, for a Jewish kid, he loved to hide Easter eggs year round. We would take those little, you know, the ones at the plastic ones, hide them year round and just go looking for them. Yeah, he was up at 5:30.
That works. Lily's in like a kitchen utensil phase. So she'll take anything and, you know, bang it or mix it. We have like spatulas and pasta things like all over the house. Whatever works.
My aunt, who is the mother of 6, and she also raised a 7th. She's now 93 years old. After a while, she put the pots and pans in the toy box, and she put the toys where the pots and pans go, because that's what they played with, was the pots and pans. So
I'm going to finish this. This will be hers tomorrow. And she'll play with it for an hour. She'll be thrilled.
All right, let me see what Jacob.
Yep. Let's pull up some funny.
Okay, let's pull up what he said. All right, so I said, what can you remember? He said, oh, you can tell them about how you wouldn't. Okay, so we're talking about Man of La Mancha, which I did that show many times. I don't even know, 5 or 6.
I've seen you play Aldonza.
Yes. He said, you can tell them about how you wouldn't let me watch you be raped on stage, and I would have to go under the desk of the stage crew or something. He wouldn't let me my ass off. Because I said, yeah, you can watch the whole thing, but at this scene, you are not to see that. So he would climb under, like, I think it was the lighting booth, and just, stay under. And because that would be who would be in charge of him for watching that show. Because
I don't know what's more traumatic though, like throwing a kid under a lighting booth real quick. Don't look at what's happening to your mom, or like just letting him experience the fake rape that's happening on stage. Like I feel like the imagination behind it might have been worse.
Well, I don't know.
We'll never know. We'll never know because you never.
I'm knowing me. I probably explained something that I was getting very badly hurt, and of course it was fake, but I don't want him to have that memory of it. That's something I would have said to him. But you could have a point. It could have been another way that I have screwed my kid up. Thank you, Jess Ader-Ferretti.
That's what I'm here for. As much as I'm saying we shouldn't mom shame, every guest I'm gonna have on, I'm gonna like poke holes in their parenting and be like, you should have let your son watch you get raped on stage. You're a terrible mom. You think maybe that's the quote. I don't know. I'm looking for one. Maybe that's.
You should have let your mom. Okay. What else did he say? Oh, this is funny. He said, explain how Tommy Gibbons used to curse like a trucker, and you would Jewish mom me about how some people do things differently. So one of my most favorite people in the world is Tommy Gibbons, and he's a wonderful choreographer, director, and I've done shows with him for many, many years. And he talks like a trucker.
Nothing wrong with that.
You would love him.
We don't know each other. Yeah, we don't really know each other. We don't know each other.
Really love him. And I brought him, to rehearsal, and I think Tommy said, oh, should I? I said, you do you. You be you. I am exposing my son to life. I'd rather be there when he's hearing this colorful language and explain to him, yeah, you're going to hear that. We just don't talk that way in our house. And that's sort of how I parented him. Maybe made some mistakes along the way. I'm sure I did. But I just exposed him to life and to people and adults, and he always was really comfortable around adults. And I think part of it is bringing him to so many rehearsals and shows. And also, like we said before, he came out that way.
Came out that way. Yeah, when theater is back, Lily will have the same experience, right? She'll be at a million rehearsals.
Yes.
So you mentioned your Jewish mom parenting, and I've told you a story recently that I think is like the quintessential Emily Nadler version of a Jewish mom, and I'm going to tell it.
Okay. So, I don't know what you're going to say, but go right ahead.
Well, and I'm going to also call out, so Emily and I are via Zoom right now because why? Why are we Zoom and not distance in my backyard, which we have been. It's Emily and I have seen each other, but why are we via Zoom?
I have poison ivy. That's why.
She told me she was afraid that she would be too itchy.
Here's my eyebrows in case I get itchy. I get spritz all over the place.
Holy shit. Anyway, when Emily was distance in my backyard a mere few weeks ago, we caught up on a few things and something that she had done that, you see what other people post on Facebook when you're friends with them. And Emily had shared with us that, her son Jacob was considering going down to Florida during this whole crazy time, and that she was nervous because numbers were rising, and look where we are now. I don't want to say she was right, but she was right. Look where we are now. And just that she didn't want to get too hard on Jacob. I said, Jacob, I'm worried. Oh, Jacob, I'm worried. I don't know, Jacob, I don't know. But I'm not going to tell him. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Within 24 hours of Emily telling us this story, somebody posted an article about Florida numbers rising, and Emily very simply tagged at Jacob Klein with a crying face. That was it. That was all she did. That was her parenting.
Yeah.
That's how she expressed, don't go to Florida.
Yeah. He went.
He came back. He's back.
he's back and he's fine, and he got a COVID test the second he came back. I
But
know.
that I think is, that's who you are.
That's who I am. Yeah, I don't try to do the guilt thing too much, although he would disagree and he'd say, pack a bag, going on a guilt trip.
On a guilt trip, it's a heavy load. You gotta take it. Do you have any more Jacob stories? Now we can move on, but I don't want to sell you.
He said me learning to sleep anywhere, because I remember we used to rehearse at this kind of warehousey place in Oceanside, where Plaza had their set pieces and costumes and all sorts of things, and it was on the second floor. So, and we would rehearse on the first floor. So he would come in with whatever games he had, climb up the ladder, pull out some sort of set piece like a settee or a little ottoman, and he would play until he got tired and he would go to sleep. He would just sleep anywhere.
That works.
He said, you practicing your singing and me having friends over. And I said, what's the practicing singing one? I couldn't practice because it was embarrassing. And he said, I guess it's embarrassing, like it's not, but more funny, just how my friends and neighbors would be like, holy fuck, laughing my ass off to you doing your opera stuff, when I would warm up, with a lot of gusto. When he was really little, and I would take him, I guess, to a show or to, I don't know, rehearsal, whatever, I would have to warm up in the car because my voice takes a lot of warming up. And all I remember is, too loud, mommy, too loud, no singing, too loud.
While audiences are like, please take my money, Emily Nadler's in that. Oh my God, not your son.
He was not the least bit impressed, not the least bit. So I think that's all. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, that was it. That was it from Jacob.
Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate it.
At the time, I took him to a Hello Dolly, and he was in the wings bouncing the ball, and I started before the parade passes by, and I see this orange ball roll from stage left and roll and stop center stage.
And who did you play in Hello Dolly?
Dolly.
Okay. Just
Dolly.
Please, I saw you in that. And I was like, there she is. All right, I'm gonna shift gears.
Okay,
here's a 24-year-old, right? I have a 9-month-old. We are worlds apart in our parenting.
Yes.
So I want to know weirdest, funniest, whatever thing that you experienced at the following stages. So, infant, let's say like elementary school-ish.
Okay.
Middle school, high school-ish.
Okay.
And now.
Okay. Let's say infant, well, I guess this was more, I can't think of an infant one, just that he did not sleep, but I've mentioned that before. This is along that lines. I guess he was about 2.5, and he was 2, and I put him in a toddler bed because he hated his crib. So I put him in a toddler bed, but still getting him to sleep was really rough, and I would often fall asleep just right next to him he liked to touch my hand, he liked to touch my hair, and I would just end up falling asleep because I was so dead dog tired on the floor next to him. And I guess he reached over and was touching my face, and I woke up to his finger being jammed up my nose as far as a finger could possibly go. It was like a COVID test, I guess. And I just remember that, like, oh my God, up to my brain. So that was one. Elementary, I guess he was around 7, and he asked me where babies came from. So, I just told him in an age appropriate explanation. And I guess I was going on a little bit long, and he's listening and he's listening and he's listening. And finally I said, Jacob, do you have any questions? And he said, yeah. Can I have soda? Oh, I guess I lost him at the beginning of the explanation.
It's amazing. So my niece, who is now 11, maybe 11. She's 11. So like kids don't give a shit. They ask questions and they don't care, right? So when Katie and I were getting married, you know, we had said like, you know, do you have any questions? Like it's her first gay experience, like her first gay experience. You know what I mean? It's not her first gay experience. It's her first experience with gay people.
Yes, yes.
And Katie was, you know, said to her like, you know, Belle, do you have any questions? And she just sort of said like, okay, well, you and Aunt Jessie, um, who wears a dress, right? Who's wearing a dress? So Katie said, both of us, or you know, both of us wear a dress. She was like, okay, and then she goes, two boys, right? And that was literally it. That was the whole conversation. Like kids don't give a shit. They don't care.
They don't care at all. You know, when I think they care is when they hear it in your voice as you're explaining things. When it's like, okay, we're going to have a talk now. Just say it matter-of-factly. Matter-of-factly.
Conversation. Like, no, it's just what it is.
We were on, it brings me to something else. We were online. I remember he was 8 years old. We were getting Checkers takeout. We're on the drive-through. And I think somebody on the radio said the word condom. So he asked me, you know, what's a condom? And I, in age-appropriate terms, just really, as matter of fact as I could, explained what it was, again, age-appropriate, and right then I saw an opportunity, and I said, so when you get older, you know, you won't need one for a long time, but, you know, when you get older, you always have to wear it. Always, you can never not wear it. End of discussion, moving on. So I was like, that seed is planted. That very important seed is, no pun intended.
Not planted. It will not be planted.
It will not be planted because that seed was planted. So
that's a good
all right, so that's, what's that?
I said that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah. What else? So that's elementary. So now
like high school and then now.
High school, God, what was a weird thing this is just a cute story. I don't know if it's parenting. I can't really think of anything.
I mean, I have no rules, right?
No, okay.
Zoom, talking about your kids.
It involves bowling. So we used to, my son's a bowler, and we would drive across the country and back to these, you know, to the Midwest, these long car rides. And one year, I don't know how old he was. Maybe he was 15 or 16. I'm just guessing. And he asked if he had a girlfriend, and he asked if she could come along. And I thought, all right, you know, we'll let her come along. Mistake. Mistake. Lovely girl, lovely girl, but it was too long. We were gone for about 10 days, and we ended up fighting quite a bit. And so on the way back from Indiana, I noticed that it was really quiet in the back seat. They weren't talking to each other or anything. So from the front seat, I texted Jacob, like, what's going on? He goes, oh my God, I am so breaking up with her the second we get back. But we had like 11 more hours in the car.
Oh, you're a good mom. I feel like they're not coming. They're not coming because I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah, no, it was, you know, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. College, you know, well, so college and now, what's fun now is I'm getting caught up on stories that I had no idea had happened, you know, because they keep secrets. They lie and they keep secrets, and they all do it.
No matter how close you are. Yeah.
And he and I,
you guys are close.
really close. Really close. Yeah, I heard about the time that he was at a party and he was the designated driver. He must have been 17 then. And he put kids in his trunk because he needed to drive a whole bunch of kids home, and they packed up the car, but there still were more kids. So they put kids in the trunk and drove them home, as you do. I heard about that. One day there was a sign, a street sign. I shouldn't say this, but There was a street sign downstairs in my basement. Where'd that come from? And all of his friends, because his friends would sleep here all the time, said, oh, we just thought it'd be cool to have it. They climbed the street sign, stole the street sign. So.
Well, so I dated someone in high school who during Christmas time used to think it was really funny, and this is awful. He's a father now. He's a great guy who used to steal baby Jesuses.
You gotta have goals.
You know,
you just have goals.
Teenagers are dumb. They're dumb. You're invincible. Let it be. You know, you only really have that kind of feeling for a short period of time.
Yeah,
for sure. And then I'm gonna start wrapping us up, Nadler. I have one last question for you. And for all of you out there, this will be my final question all the time.
Okay.
What is something you wish you knew that you know now before becoming a parent?
How fast it goes. People tell you how fast it goes.
They do.
But it still goes, even though you respect the people telling you that, it still goes so fast. Like my baby, who I remember being 3 weeks old, holding right in the room that I'm in, vacuuming, holding a 3-week-old with one hand. Now he's 24 and a half. And I remember preschool, kindergarten, first, second, on and on. I remember all the grades.
Yeah.
But it still has flown. It still has flown. And watch out, high school and college, you go so fast you can't believe it. You just can't believe it. Even faster for me than all the other kids. Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much. And I hope this wasn't too painful. I hope that it was fun for you.
It was interesting. I hope it was interesting.
I think people are going to be very into what you have to say. You're just a very genuine and funny person, and you know, an incredible talent. And I'm very honored that you said that you would come and talk to me for a little bit.
It was stepping outside of my comfort zone.
Oh.
Sure. There's no script. So my lines are not, designated. Yeah. But thanks for having me, honey. You're wonderful. I love you.
Thank you very much.
Shit moms won't say.